Good day to all of you. We are back with another episode. We're going to be discussing a bit of cricket and football today. The thing is, since the last episode, thank you so much for 350 subscribers. Think about it, 350. We were at 150 to begin the episode when we got Kushal on the show. Now we are at 350. We got our first 1K episode. We got our first 2K and 5K episode. We got our first 1K shorts. Thank you so much from Nikhil and I. Honestly, I am running out of words to describe this because we didn't even we expected a bump, but this has gone beyond what I was expecting. Nikhil would like to thank you as well. This was
Uh,
surprising to see.
I don't even know what to say. I didn't even check the numbers till you said them to me. Now I'm checking them, and this is quite impressive. This is very impressive, and I hope we can sustain these numbers even without Kushal. Let's see.
Yeah, that is the major challenge, and we hope to keep your attention even without Kushal Mehra. That's my point of view, right? So, first things first, let's talk about the West Indies India series since it's the main topic of discussion, and we should have an idea of what this series represents for this team, right? So the first thing is the first test was pretty much a walkover. Let's keep that. It pretty much showed that West Indies have a long way to go. But the second test was a very, very interesting test. India basically had mercy on the West Indies a number of times and they made some less than perfect decisions at various points. The declaration was one, the follow on was another, and yet they won by a distance. They never looked in danger of losing the match. Let's be very clear about that, right? So the entire match seemed to be sort of a touchstone for the West Indies, where they actually showed that they have the ability to bat on reasonable pitches. Like this was a good pitch. This was not a bad pitch. Anybody who says this was a bad pitch, please check your eyes. Test matches are meant to go on for 4.5 to 5 days at least. This went on for 5 days. This is a good match. And honestly, I felt when
Decent
I was
crowds too. Decent crowds too. People turned up.
yeah, and that also tells me that if you want to fill in for a test match crowd, please play the test matches at a 30-40K stadium, not a 130,000 Colosseum like the Narendra Modi Stadium. If you want to fill the Narendra Modi Stadium for a test match, please make sure you get it as an India-Australia match. Don't do it for an India-West Indies match. Hardly 10,000 attended the game on any day. That was how bad it was, right? So I don't want that to happen. And Delhi gave a very good crowd. And you were saying you wanted to go and see the match. Did you go in person to see the match?
Couldn't. They didn't have the chance eventually. But listen, there's a particular stand in Delhi. Okay, it's the main
Yeah,
stand,
yeah.
the pavilion stand. If you sit and watch from there, I promise you, it's like watching on HD TV. You get that clear of view. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous stand to watch from. Almost perfect to watch cricket from. You will literally see the ball do everything from there. So it's a bad stadium. Otherwise, let me not mince my words about it. It's too small. Uh, the seating is it is what it is, right? The food is never great, as is the case in all our stadia. Toilets, etc., are okay. They're not great. The whole thing is a bad experience as a viewer. But that bit where you get to watch it almost like you can see every inch of the ball and what it does in the air and what it does off the wicket and how the batsman is reacting. It's quite a sight.
Yeah.
Decent screen as well, so you get the replay.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, you had tweeted a long time ago. Imagine it was 2 years ago about the India-Afghanistan match at the Ferozshah
Yes.
Kotla Arun
Oh,
Jaitley
I'm surprised
Memorial.
you remember. Yes, I tweeted about exactly this,
And
that I
you
was
said
sitting on
that
that.
you were seated in that stand. So
Man,
that's
I
was
saw Rohit Sharma play an innings that I can't really describe and how poetic that in. It's a Rohit Sharma innings, right? It's as poetic
yeah,
as it gets.
yeah.
Just gorgeous, simple, easy hand movements. Everything so flowy. It's beautiful to watch. And the power was ridiculous. Like it's touch. It's just pure touch cricket, and the power still is so big. It's really
Yeah,
quite a sight. But a perfect stand to watch from.
yeah. So
I
when I
really
was,
I feel very strongly about this. Both Delhi and Bombay, major cities, deserve much better stadia than these. Yeah.
actually, I was just thinking about that. right? Like if you're looking at the Wankhede is a modern stadium by the way of its construction. I'm not going to dispute that. It's a very modern stadium in the way it's built. It looks good too. The only problem is its capacity. Irony is, for an ODI, you can fill up Bombay for even 100,000. But a test match, Bombay, I am very doubtful you can even fill in a 50,000.
No, you
Just saying.
can't. Bombay people will watch decent test matches. They will watch. Wankhede, it's also a pitch with character. The problem that's happened in the Wankhede actually is the stadium capacity increase closed off that open area that used to be on one side. And that used to
Yeah,
allow for the ball to swing quite a bit. So Wankhede
yeah,
test matches used to actually be a lot of fun because, yeah, the pitch will flatten out after a while, but because it's on the coast, there's always a little bit of moisture in the pitch. Day one morning used to be very difficult. Whichever test match I've seen in Bombay, day one morning is a task at hand. If the bowling is
yeah,
good, the batting should be in trouble.
yeah,
Then it sort of eases out for a bit, but it never eases out where you can just score and plunder runs. It's not that easy. So
yeah,
it's as a pitch for a test match, it's got a lot of character to it. Right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
the opposite in ODI cricket, where it's just a rubbish pitch in ODI cricket. They take everything out of the pitch. The ground
yeah.
size is nothing. There are boundaries which are 55 meters away from one angle. I mean, they just
Same as the
destroy.
Chinnaswamy. Same as
Right?
the
And
Chinnaswamy.
the problem is because that stand has now been constructed, that wind is also gone. So you don't get the
Yeah,
same swing and seam movement anymore.
yeah, yeah,
It's just become a hitter's paradise.
yeah.
They
No,
need
when I
to
was,
think about, look, if you're going to build a stadium, you have to build it, yes, capacity, but you also have to think about, okay, you're hosting test matches here. You have to have some more open spaces. I mean, open spaces in a stadium, even if they reduce capacity, right? At least create a more of a human experience. I
yeah,
watched the World Cup final at Wankhede in back in
yeah,
2011, and I watched matches after that as well. And yeah, okay, it's bucket seating, whatever the hell, but you're just squished in together.
yeah,
Everywhere you're just squished in together. Delhi is even worse, much worse. I mean, I'm doing Wankhede an injustice by comparing it to Kotla. Kotla is far worse. Kotla has
okay,
badly designed pillars. If you go into the
yeah.
wrong stand, it has badly designed pillars that will block your view of the match.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know that famous, literally like this shape stand is there, right? That one.
Ridiculous. It's like this much is the gap in which you can go and see the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah. So when I was just thinking about all of that, but let's leave the stadiums aside for a moment. Let's talk about the pitch because the pitch was a very
Look, I
refreshing
just want to say, Ahmedabad, we discussed a bit, and we were talking about how far away from the body the West Indians were playing on the first morning.
feeling. Yeah,
And Ahmedabad, the first morning, was a pitch that I would say was kind of similar to what we got against Bangalore, against New Zealand and Bangalore. It had enough moisture on it, it had some grass on it, it had
but it
nip
was
to it.
nowhere near the level of devilishness that the Bangalore pitch had. That was
Well,
because
that's
of
because the
2 days
volume
of
of rain
rain.
in Bangalore preceding it had been
Rain.
very high as well,
Yeah,
right? The moisture
yeah,
level was higher. But this pitch had enough in it, like from the beginning. And so
yeah,
West Indies were out of the match so early, right? Because
yeah,
they don't, and it's not, didn't have enough for anybody to run through them, but you need patient batting. They don't possess test match temperament batting, right? Their averages top to bottom are in the 30s and 20s and
yeah, yeah,
something like that in for test cricket. So that's never going to cut it. But then
yeah,
when you come to Delhi, you absolutely correct. The pitch didn't have as many demons to it, and that's why
yeah,
their bowling also showed up with nothing much.
yeah.
Uh, and when we came out to bowl, Jadu got the wickets early, but Kuldeep was magnificent in Delhi.
Simple.
He was
Yeah,
fantastic in Delhi. And
yeah.
you watch that performance in Delhi, and you keep asking yourself, how can Kuldeep Yadav be 30 years old and has played only 15 Test matches?
And then
He
you
has the
realize
best
that
strike
when he
rate
was
of anybody. He has the best strike rate of any left-arm spinner in the history of the game. Any left-arm bowler right now at the stage of 15 Test matches, except maybe Sydney Barnes. Like he is a truly epochal talent that we're just wasting away because of
I,
these. Like him not play. It'll always bother me that he didn't play a single Test match in England, man, in those
I
conditions.
agree. I agree. I
He would have
agree.
been lethal in those conditions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He would have been a point of difference. But
Especially when we
what,
were wasting positions with either Nitish Reddy or with what's his name, with Lord Shardul Thakur,
especially in
right?
the first test, yeah, first test was a
Shardul
nightmare.
got two test. He got two test matches though. He got two
Ah,
test
yeah, yeah,
matches.
yeah, he did.
I mean, I look at Kuldeep as such a high level talent, right? I would play him on a glass top. Yeah? He's He's a sensational bowler. I would play him as my first choice spinner anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But let's talk about the Indian first innings, right? So I'll bring it up. The reason I'm going to bring this up is obvious, but there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. It was not a strange innings. Let's be very clear. It was not a strange innings. It was a very dominant
No,
innings.
it's
It
only
was,
strange. It's only strange in its finality. Like, what
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
total is a 518 for 5? You can either be a 550 for 8, right? And you choose not to
yeah,
get bowled out and therefore you declare. If you're 5
yeah.
down, you go for 600, 650. Especially if you've
And
decided you will enforce the follow on.
in fact, if you look at this 518 for 5, right? We gifted them a couple of wickets even here. Jaiswal was a needless run out, which was half his own doing and half Gill's problem. It's a half and a half situation.
But
I saw,
Jaiswal now has previous on this. He's done this in other formats as well. He's done it in Melbourne. He's done
yeah.
it one or two more occasions, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but Melbourne was Virat Kohli's fault. Melbourne, Virat Kohli sold him down the river there, but Kohli sold him down the river. This guy's Gill had a point. Gill was
Only
like, "There's no
difference is
run."
you say Kohli sold him down the river, but that was a short play to mid on, if I remember correctly. And mid
Or
on
was
is the
it third
batsman.
man? Or was it
Sorry?
third man? Was
No,
it
no, it's
third
not
man or
definitely
mid
not
on?
third. No, I thought it was in the forward field. And if it's in the forward field, it's entirely his call.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think Kohli was ball watching though. That's the problem. That is what happened.
Yeah, but you're allowed to ball watch. That's the problem, right? I get it. I mean, if Jaiswal makes the call, Kohli has to absolutely run.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's there. He's done what previous. His drop catches and this stuff, it's there. There's some unneatness in his cricket. It's a part of his cricket. He can play great innings from time to time. He's going to be a top batsman for us, no doubt. But there's some
Yeah.
unneatness in his cricket, and that needs to go away. This is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only thing I can think of.
So his
And
one
this was
side.
my first thought when I saw 518 for 5 declared. Because I think it was
Yeah.
Gambhir just really challenging his team.
Fair
Right?
enough. Fair enough.
These are tougher conditions for you to bowl them out in. Go and
Yeah.
win the test match from this.
Yeah. 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 I agree with you on that point. I agree with you. And if you really look at it, Jaiswal's wicket is a gift. Rahul's wicket was a huge gift. Sai Sudarshan was genuinely foxed by a delivery that he should have come forward to. But Sai Sudarshan, unfortunately or fortunately, he has a technique where he goes back to almost every spinning ball. He's a wonderful back foot player. Like, I don't see that weakness with Jaiswal. Jaiswal often steps down to get to the pitch of the ball, and he has a very good sweep shot and a very good reverse sweep shot.
Look, all
Sai
I'll say for
Sudarshan
Sai
doesn't do that.
Sudarshan is that he's very lucky there aren't any good spinners around in world cricket right
Yeah,
now. There is,
Lion will really test him. Lion will
but, but,
really
but,
test
but,
him.
but we're looking at Lion probably has one tour left in his
Yeah,
career.
and at age 40. So that's going to
Right? So I
really
don't
be
know how
tough.
effective he'll be. So
Yeah.
Nathan Lyon is one option, but maybe maybe within Sri Lanka, if you play, or the Sri Lankan spinners might bother you a bit. But that's about it. There are no spinners
Keshav
left
Maharaj.
in.
Keshav Maharaj next tour will be definitely something. Something. I would say if you
I
offer
don't
this
look at
pitch,
Keshav
Keshav
Maharaj
is
and
nothing.
think that if you can engage in patient test match batting,
Yeah.
Keshav Maharaj should not bother you.
Yeah. 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 Agreed.
Not
Agreed.
saying that he won't get any wickets. He'll still get wickets because he'll bowl enough overs and he bowls enough decent deliveries. But they should not be cheap wickets. They'll be expensive wickets. And as a team, you're all right.
So essentially, yeah, I see your point. He's going to be Jomel Warrican 2.0. Yeah, point taken. So when you're looking at these wickets, right, actually, we gifted them 4 wickets out of the 5. It's just remarkable to think of that. These 2 perished because they were looking for quick runs. So that was fine. Then the first innings happened. This is predictable. There's nothing new in this. There's nothing to be gained from analyzing
I
this
mean, just go
scorecard.
back to the Rahul. Look at the Rahul does this quite often as well. Just suddenly throws his wicket away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, that's why I'm saying gifts. Gifts were given and they were accepted. And then this innings, okay, this is the innings that we really have to talk about. Okay. Yes, the pitch was benign. Let's be very clear about this. This was a very benign pitch. This was not a spitting cobra. This allowed for run making. This allowed for shot making. This allowed for you to have a good defense and stay on it for a very long time. Just look at these two innings. These two hundreds are a source of big credit, not because they're extraordinary technical hundreds. They're not, but they're very important for West Indies cricket to build upon. These
No, I
are
mean the
very
look. The real thing that they are is they are patient centuries.
yeah.
These conditions, all they required was the primary test match skill it required was patience. If you had the
Yep.
patience and the basic technique, you'll do all right. And I would give them more credit than that because they were up against a lot of overs of Kuldeep, and Kuldeep was superb. He'll beat you
Yeah.
in the air, man. It doesn't matter what the pitch is doing. He'll beat you in the air. If you're not patient, he'll get you in the air.
Yeah.
So, and getting you in the air, even if you're patient, right, it'll cause an LBW or something or the other. So he is a heck of a bowler, and these two were good innings, and not as if they folded completely right after that either. They
Yeah.
fought it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
They fought it
Last
out quite
last
well.
wicket pair got 70 runs themselves, so it was a flat deck. You can see it.
If this had, if they had managed to bat out day 4,
Yeah.
and you add another 100 runs to this because of that,
Yeah.
day 5 would have been quite tricky. It would have been really tricky.
But what I saw was the ball was not spitting and spinning like the Pakistan South Africa test match right now. It
I,
was
I
slow
agree,
spin.
but it's India. Yeah, it's Delhi. It could be one session. It'll suddenly start doing everything.
Hmm. But the pitch was
Oh,
asleep even at day
to that
5.
point, think of the Oval Test match, right? Up
Yeah.
until they
Yeah.
were 330 something, there was nothing in the
Yeah.
pitch.
And even at the last, there was nothing in the pitch. It was reverse swing that finally started
No,
doing things
there
for
is. I
India.
mean, obviously the reverse swing then causes movement off the pitch as well, right? But it started to swing, and my God, that old ball then just didn't stop swinging.
Yeah.
So it takes like something switches in a test match, whatever the conditions. I'll give you an example of this. There's a Madras test match against England in 2016, I think, when England made 500, I think, or 450.
The
And
477, then the
yeah, and we responded with
779 for
590 or
India.
something,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
The
They lost
night triple hundred.
in the last session on the
Night.
last day,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because the pitch really started to spit on the last session. So
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
again, I
Yeah.
mean, the 2001 famous Calcutta Test win, 7 wickets in the last session.
But the pitch was not spitting at that time. They just played a lot of bad shots also. I saw them.
No,
Lot of
I
terrible
think
spits.
I think it's underrated how well Bhaji and Tendulkar bowled that day.
Yeah.
Bhaji, peak Bhaji used to have the ability to drop the ball like literally no other spinner, man. You would go looking for it and it would just drop on you. And Ponting got killed by that. At times, Bhaji would fool him. He would allow the ball to go too full to him. He's looking for it shorter because he knows it's going to drop on him, but it's come too full and he's hit on the pad. He should
Yeah.
totally mess with their minds. Bhaji at his peak, and Tendulkar used to bowl the ripping leg spinner, man. Once in a while, when it's coming out proper, not a lot anyone can do. He should turn as much as wants.
Yeah. 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 There's actually a video of him in the 2011 World Cup quarterfinal. He's bowling in the quarterfinal. He spins one to Watson. Watson is just befuddled because the ball lands outside leg stump and spins into Dhoni's gloves outside off. Watson might not have even been
Wide
standing.
outside off, like
Yeah,
literally
wide
wide
outside.
outside off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unplayable. You
unplayable
can't hit
stuff.
that. I mean, you're not going to get out of it, but you can't hit that.
Yeah, you're not going to get out. And Watson wasn't playing a shot to it. But the point is, he was just like, who is this guy? Who is this guy who suddenly spun this ball this much? Right? Like, he had serious RPM at his peak. And Tendulkar has 150 ODI wickets or something like that. Like,
138. Yeah, I think
no,
138 is now.
I'll just check. But point is,
No, you're right.
nobody.
141 or something like that, and then 38 test match wickets.
Yeah.
But 38 test
match.
match wickets have two second innings 3 wicket hauls that have contributed to our most famous wins in Adelaide and in Kolkata.
Yeah. No, Tendulkar had 154 ODI wickets. That's more
And
than most of
38 test match wickets, right? They're 192 wickets. Anyway,
46
I mean, I think
46.
there's not a lot more to discuss in this test. It got a little bit closer. They batted well. They batted with patience. I think they really like both of them. Their technique, man, they covered for the spin beautifully.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
really covered for the spin beautifully.
Now, let me ask you this. Suppose every Indian pitch from now on is this or a slight variation of this, where it really doesn't matter whether you're batting first or batting second, but there's good things on offer for bowlers if they have enough patience, and good things for batsmen if there is enough patience by them as well.
No,
Would
I
you
look.
like?
I think the Delhi pitch is a little too slow. I think Ahmedabad was a decent pitch. Ahmedabad would be a beautiful pitch for Test matches.
Fair enough,
Delhi is a little. Delhi traditionally is a little too slow and a little too low.
but it's fine. It still makes for good cricket.
Yeah,
5 days.
it works. It works. I mean, look, I think it works in this match because it eventually ended in 5 days. If you're playing another team, you're not getting two teams out in these conditions. Like South
Not
Africa
Australia.
should South Africa would not get bowled out. Even forget Australia. I don't think even South Africa would get bowled out like this in these conditions.
Yeah, they'll just say we'll also bat long and we'll make it this a
Yeah,
draw.
yeah. Speaking of South Africa, their test match is much more interesting right now.
Yeah, but I have one more thing to discuss, a hypothetical here with regard to this test. One last thing, actually. Do you think that, let's say that set 200, could we have chased this down? 200, let's assume. 80 more?
No, that's what I'm saying. With 100 more, look, right now, if you ask me, my answer will be yes, because it was 124 for three. But if it was 100 more runs, then you're not batting, only a little bit of the first session of day 5. You're also batting session 2 and perhaps session 3. And you
Yeah,
don't know whether the pitch degenerates enough in those two sessions and suddenly starts doing a lot more in the
yeah,
third
yeah.
session or the second session, right? So I would still say yes. Uh, and also because I don't think the spinner quality was great,
No.
but I didn't also expect to lose 3 wickets. I certainly didn't expect to lose 2 wickets on the fifth morning.
Again, 2 wickets. Again, all 3 wickets here were basically gifts. Jaiswal wanted to finish it early. I don't blame him for that. That was just fine. You want to go out and try to put them under pressure. I'm fine with that. In a small chase, I'm fine with that. Sai Sudarshan was a bad shot. Shubman Gill just wanted to get out over with early and he fell when what? Yeah, 15, 16 runs were required. So I'm not blaming him for that either. So I'm fine with that, but it was an interesting series in more ways than one because it shows us that there is something in the West Indian batting here.
I think we're overstating that, bro. I think we're overstating that. If you want to look at it that way, I felt that their series against Australia actually showed them in a better light. They were competitive for
It-
long patches. It's just
The
Cameron Green
27
came good.
all
I
out.
mean, that's a series we haven't discussed and others haven't talked about much. Cameron Green's performances at number 3 in that series are fantastic. Those conditions were brutal. They were murderous conditions, and he contributed runs in almost every single inning except the first one. And it
Yeah.
wasn't easy because these West Indian bowlers. I mean, today this is not their full strength fast bowling lineup.
No, it's not. No, no.
The full fast bowling lineup was a good lineup in that game, and they produced a lot of movement. Yes, when those conditions are such, even their batsmen cannot respond. They can't resist the Australians, and the Australians were not full strength on the
Yeah.
seamer side. But
No, they were full strength on the seamer side that time.
no, I don't think Hazelwood was there, right?
He was there. Final test. It was Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, Boland. 4 men. And Stark took 6 for 9. Boland
Yeah,
took a
that's
hat
not my.
trick. And
Okay,
Hazelwood
maybe
took
I'm
a double
confusing
set.
the first two tests, but I didn't think he was there in the first two tests. Uh,
Probably.
but really good that some growth is coming. Look, they need one of these two guys. Shai Hope has numbers. Shai Hope has talent. Shai Hope has credentials in Test cricket. He needs more around him, much more around him. Uh, I don't know if John Campbell is the guy who's going to continue doing that in the future, but whoever, they need some runs. This kid in particular, Taj Narayan Chandrapal, they're banking on him big time. He has to come good for them.
I don't think he will. He doesn't have his father's technique. Nowhere even close.
I mean,
Shivnarayan
father,
Chandrapal.
Shivnarayan Chandrapal had the weirdest technique in the world there, so who can copy that?
I'm saying
But
I'm saying Shivnarayan Chandrapal's technique is the weirdest and yet one of the soundest techniques the world has ever
yeah, it worked
seen.
for him. It was a crab technique worked for him. But Chandrapal, this Taj Narayan Chandrapal had a reasonable start. I mean, people looked at his batting as being high quality. Uh, I don't know. It's not happening since then. But John Campbell is an opener making a century because they've lost Craig Brathwaite now. And
Yeah.
losing Craig Brathwaite is a huge thing for them because he was a lot of centuries for them in the middle. In these bad years, he was a lot of runs, important runs for them. Let's see. Let's see how they go in the next 5 years, 4, 5 seasons. Yeah, there's more players there now than before. But honestly, like I said to you on the last pod we discussed with Kushal, from the 2006, 7, so 2008 tour of West Indies,
Yeah.
that team was anyway on its, like, it just didn't resemble a real cricket team anymore. And from there onwards, this is 10x worse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know where they're going
One
yet.
more thing. This was very, very interesting. Could have had a better pitch. This was the first comment
Because
that
I think he's
really
already
made.
passed his stuff.
Actually, I don't want to hear him say it. There's no point in hearing him say it. He said it. That's obvious. So Gambhir said there should have been a little more bounce and carry as far as Indian pitches are concerned, which is fine. He has his point of view. I'm okay with that. He can say that if he
Listen, he's
wants.
played all his
But
cricket, all his life in Delhi. He knows Delhi is the slowest pitch around.
then why on earth is he complaining? This was a fine enough cricket match. It was not a bad one by any means
No,
to
he's
watch.
complaining because he wants those kinds of conditions. He wants those tougher. He has every right to say that. He wants tougher conditions. He wants tougher conditions.
Fair
He wants
enough.
more bounce and spin. A little bit more bounce and spin is not a bad thing. Yeah, it wouldn't take the pitch suddenly into the domain of the unplayable. If
Bounce, I
anything,
agree.
bounce. If
Spin,
anything,
I
bounce
won't.
and consistent bounce would
Yeah,
require a firmer pitch, which is good.
fair enough. But honestly, if you ask me, I would rate this pitch a solid 7 out of 10. It was not a bad pitch by any
Yeah.
means.
But I'm telling you, Simon, it's seeming that way because you're playing a weak West Indies.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I will give you that one. I will give you that.
There has never been a cricket pitch in the history of Delhi that has deserved a 7 out of 10. Delhi is always a 4 out of 5 or a 10 pitch. Always too low and always too slow. Really boring
Hmm.
cricket.
All right. Now let's talk about this match. I really don't want to because it's, well, the Pakis, but this is a genuinely good match. What a match this is. Okay, let's be very clear about one thing. Shan Masood has made no two bones about his tactic, which is all luck based. Let's be very clear. His tactic is entirely based on luck. It's not based on skill. It's based on some skill, sure, but let's be very clear. Once the toss is made, you can literally say the match is done. Because Pakistan have won 75% of their matches with the spin to win strategy by batting first. When they didn't bat first against the English, they somehow won because of a South Shakil masterclass. That's not going to happen all too often. And against the West Indies, when they batted second, they lost by a huge margin against the West Indies, this West Indies team. Right. So once the toss was spun and they made 300 on the best day of the series to bat, the first day, right? The match was essentially over. And it looks like it is because it's very unlikely that South Africa get the 226 required, right? Unless
It's
Dhoni
unlikely, but
dissolving.
it's not over yet. I wouldn't say it's entirely over yet.
I wouldn't say so. So hear me out. This is going to actually affect the India series. This match is going to affect the India series. It's going to affect the kind of pitches we offer to the South Africans. Let us say South Africa actually win this match by a
Yeah.
miraculous performance of spin batting against spin. They win this match. Now, please don't be mistaken that Sajid Khan and Noman Ali are bad spinners. They're actually pretty good spinners. They're not bad spinners. They have done a fair amount. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, there have been worse spinners in Test cricket.
Yeah, they actually know how to get the job done, right? So, point being, if they manage to chase this down against those two, I'm pretty confident India will not be offering any pitches that break up anytime soon. Like they have already committed to the plan of playing on flatter, nicer decks. Fair point. Good point. But now they'll be doubly making sure that we will not be playing on any pitches that break a lot, that essentially cause unplayable spin, which was present in this game. And yet you have two great innings, right? You have the Ryan Rickelton 71, which deserved to be 100, and then you have the Tony DeZorzi, one of the luckiest hundreds that you will ever see. Like, it's just insane. 2 or 3 umpires calls that went in his favor, another 2 reviews where he overturned out decisions. It's a lucky innings. It's a great innings, but it's also a lucky innings, right? And then, yeah, I mean, these two have to be the ones to get them home tomorrow somehow. They have to get to 200 for 4. That's a possible way of winning this. That's how I would say it. I would see it also.
Yeah, I mean, 60-40 Pakistan, maybe even higher, 65-35. But it's still
Yeah.
there. A good hour really changes the perspective on this match.
Again, that's what we were thinking, right? And then
Look,
Pakistan have
so
supported.
again, to me, the main talking point from this match is how Pakistan always let the opponent back in, because, and this is historically true of them. You can go through the stats. It's not as if their conditions have been devilishly difficult or very different from ours. They just have never produced batsmen. They've never produced batsmen. And it used to be a big thing that we weren't producing fast bowlers, but we've solved that problem. They've never figured
Yeah.
out how to produce batsmen regularly.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Pakistan produced the most Pakistan of performances in another sphere. You remember the famous test where we won despite losing 6 wickets for 153 in South Africa? Remember that horrible pitch, that demonic pitch
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we
yeah,
played?
yeah, yeah. When we
So,
we basically went 5-0, right?
6 for 0.
Yeah,
It's even
six for
worse.
zero.
6 for 0. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pakistan decided that they would also go 6 for 0 in 2 parts. First, 3 wickets at 199, 3 wickets at 362. Truly incredible. And
Yeah. 362. It looked like they've solved this problem. They look like they were in the game big time. That they are going to finish the game off in the first innings itself.
yeah,
And now they haven't. And the truth is they haven't. Whatever you say, they haven't finished this game off yet.
yeah, they
Uh,
haven't.
and it'll hurt. This is not one of those games where I think they can just get away with uh, this idea that you keep bowling the spinners, keep bowling the spinner, then nothing will go wrong. It could go wrong. It could go wrong. Like you said, Dizorsi did get lucky. Yes, he got
Yeah,
lucky, but he also knew how to play spin.
yeah,
He
yeah.
could do it. So,
But you know what? After seeing some of the players of other countries, especially the Sena countries, employing the sweep shot and reverse sweep shot so much, it pains me that Indian players just don't do it as much. Like, with a couple of exceptions, like Jaiswal, for example, they just don't sweep. They just don't want to sweep.
bro,
They just
I
don't.
don't know. In Test cricket, I've never liked Indian sweeping. Our technique should be far superior to requiring a sweep. Is in Test cricket, it's my reading of it is if you're sweeping spinners, it's because you're not reading them, and it's because your feet aren't fast enough. You're not trusting your feet. I'm not saying you should never sweep. Okay, you can sweep. It's a legitimate tactic, but it doesn't speak to high quality batsmanship against spin.
But I
But having said
totally.
that, we haven't had high quality batsmanship against proper spin in quite some time. And now, of course, there's an era where I don't know when we're going to see the next good spinner, outside of India.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, on such pitches like these, everything becomes deadly, as we said, right? Everything becomes deadly. Like, Noman Ali becomes a world beater on such pitches. He took 6 in the first innings. He has already taken 2 in the second innings. He's taken 8. A chap like Senuran Muthusamy, who is an Indian South African, by the way, he's taken 11 in the match. 11. He'll never do this on any South African pitch, ever. Not in a million years, right?
Yeah, but I don't
So,
think this pitch was an 11 in a match kind of pitch for a random spinner. Yeah? I don't think it was that bad. I think it's a lot of bad batting.
possibly, yeah, possibly. But I don't see, after being burned by this by New Zealand 3-0, like, we learned the biggest lesson against spinning decks ever in that series. It was just insane as to, in hindsight, maybe 10 years later, we'll say that that series was good because we have never made spitting cobras ever again. Like,
No,
that
but
could
the
be
problem was a we I thought we'd already learnt that lesson in the pitches we made in the England series. 4 Test match series,
Yeah.
right?
Five test match
Five
series.
test
Five
match
test.
series, and we lost the first test, and we still didn't make shitty pitches.
Exactly.
And we came back and we won. And let's be clear, despite the fact that the series score was 3-1, right?
Yeah. 4-1. 4-1.
4-1, two of those test matches were quite close. The two wins that we got, two wins were proper, I think innings defeats, proper wins. Two of
No.
them.
Out of the four wins, right? Out of the four wins, I'll tell you. So you had a 400-run win, you had an innings win, you had a 100-run win, which was also pretty significant, and you had a 5-wicket win. That was the close win. The close
100
other
runs
close
is
match was the
also, it
close
also starts
defeat.
to get tighter. 100 also starts to get tighter, right? Like there were patches in those matches where if things had gone a little different direction, you don't win, which is fine. This is what a series against a good opposing team should be at home.
Yeah.
It's no problem. I thought that lesson was learned and we were fine. And against New Zealand, if you really look at it, we keep talking about spitting cobras. The last day in the Mumbai pitch was spitting cobra. I get that, and we
Yeah.
paid the price for it. But I did
Yeah.
Bangalore certainly wasn't. We just took the wrong call on the
Bangalore,
toss
no,
and got
no,
flung out.
no. Bangalore was the fair pitch, and I'm pretty sure we would have had fair pitches throughout the series if we had won that Bangalore test. We
But
didn't.
I thought, again, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think the second Test match pitch was also particularly bad. The first innings total in that second Test match by New Zealand, I think, is around 250.
250 is not a good first innings total on a first
I
day Indian
accept
pitch.
that. I accept that, but it's not what I call spitting cobras were the shitty pitches where we were making 120, 130, 150 was being made by teams here. It was
Yeah.
ludicrous what was going on in Indian cricket at that time. At least
No, but
250, I can start living with that.
yeah, but think about it. They got to
But
250.
250 with a lot of bad bowling. A lot of bad
Yeah.
bowling.
Yeah. And other thing, the 250 was mainly possible because Will Young and Rachin Ravindra played the most sweep shots you can even count on in both first innings and second innings on that day.
Yeah.
They made like 50, 60 or something. They kept sweeping. We didn't sweep. As soon as we stopped sweeping, we were gifting wickets away. And Virat looked like he couldn't buy a run off the square. All he had was a forward defense. Once that ball missed the bat, he was in trouble all the time. It was sad to see. Like they had no shots whatsoever. They could not play spin well. And that's the crazy part, right? So we kind of learned our lesson in the best way and worst way possible, if you think about
I
it.
think we
Because
discussed this when we talked about that series. For a long time, the reflexive thing is, oh, Indians, they'll play spin, they'll play spin. We haven't. Look, the current state of playing spin in India, it might improve now.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
but I haven't seen us play spin well in a long time. Even in the 2000s, we started to complain relative to how well we used to play it in the 90s. But in the 2000s, you had absolute gods batting for you, and even they used to be susceptible to some complaints by folks on even slightly better pitches, right? On better
yeah,
pitches than that. Uh, and that was because the run scoring rate, for some reason, see, VVS was a god at spin.
yeah.
Tendulkar is an all-round god. Like Tendulkar is just going to play well against
Dravid,
everything.
Dravid was also. Dravid was also.
But Dravid was slowing down against spin a lot, a lot.
He
2006
wouldn't get
onwards.
out though. He wouldn't get out. He wouldn't get out though.
You just check his stats from about 2006 end to about 2010, 10, 11. 11 is when it suddenly wakes up again with West Indies and England tours. But he had trouble with them in between. Even Tendulkar and Lakshman, there have been a couple of innings where they used to really just slow it down a lot, a lot. Uh,
DRS also had an
when,
impact. Actually, you
when
know what?
Pujara came, DRS, of course, but we didn't allow DRS. No? We
No,
weren't
no,
playing with
listen,
DRS at
listen.
home.
No, no, listen. This is something that I was doing a lot of my own research. Let me remove this. So I actually somehow found a full day's replay of Australia versus India MCG Test 1999. Remember that famous 100 of Tendulkar? That was the only thing that was notable for India in that match, right? So he made that 100. You should have a look at that 100. There are at least three plumb LBWs by Warne against him. Three.
No, they're
Not
not.
given.
I know which one you're talking about. They're not three plumb LBWs. I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about three very pads up, which are flippers, but they
Very
are turning.
straightish. Very
No, they're
straightish,
turning.
not
Yeah, they're turning off the straight, and point of impact is often middle.
well
But technique changes.
debatable.
It's all right. He play more with the bat. It doesn't make a difference. Look, those guys would have adapted to all of this very quickly if they had started off their careers with DRS going to be
Yeah,
there, right? Or
yeah,
at some point in their middle careers, DRS is definitely there. Makes a
yeah,
difference. I get that, but the alternative is this: spinners don't need other skills as much anymore. They don't
yeah,
need to turn the ball as much anymore. They don't need
yeah,
as much
totally.
in flight anymore. They simply need to bowl as straight as they can, and even natural variation will get them wickets.
Yeah,
Right? So
because
you don't
if
see
you
them
really,
using the rough as much anymore. None of that's
yeah,
happening.
yeah,
There's a whole spate of skill sets that the spinner used to naturally accommodate that's disappearing.
if
And
you
that's
really
also
think about it, if you
that's the
re
part of DRS, by the way.
yeah, yeah, that's true. If you really think about it, I was looking at Jadeja early career versus late career. Like he still has a good spinning ball. Don't get me wrong. Jadeja still can give it a good rip and get it to spin. But have a look at his early career. In his early career in 2011-12, he actually tries to rip the ball, literally rip it off the seam. Nowadays, he's the master of the angle. He angles it all the time. He's
He's built
working
a
you around.
career on angle and pitching it in the stumps.
Yep, he's made a career of
That's
that,
all it
and
is.
he's
That's all it is. That's why
and he's
I
now
look at his bowling and I think, okay, in the past he would have been more of a batsman than a lead bowler.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And more by the day, that claim by, I think it was Harbhajan, I think back in 2021 or 2022 when we were in the peak rubbish pitch era, he said that Ashwin and Jadeja's records are inflated significantly, but not majorly. Significantly
No,
inflated
significantly,
because
boss.
of these
Significantly.
pitches.
Very significantly, yeah.
Yeah,
It's very, very significant. You can't dispute that. They really got the benefit of a. I mean, even in this middle 2010s, they got some ragger pitches. Yeah, I mean, better
South
pitches than what
Africa.
you got later.
2015 South Africa is one of the worst series imaginable. You can't watch that series. It's like
It's
the
unwatchable. It's unwatchable, that cricket.
the spin bowling is
Unwatchable.
magnificent. Don't get me wrong, but the pitch is basically crumbling to dust on day one, first
No, no,
session. Like
and I used to really, I love Ashwin. Ashwin was probably my favorite cricketer from that generation. Okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but Ashwin used to irritate the life out of me by comparing these pitches to green tops. These are not like green tops. Green tops do not, they create movement, but they don't create the variation of bounce. They don't create the complete susceptibility of a batsman to not know where to place the bat at all. Right?
yeah.
Because what do you do with this? I mean, the whole same thing's going to spit at you, same thing's going to suddenly turn at you, and spin when it's like this, because spin occurs from a much smaller distance away from a bat, it's unplayable. You can't stop
It's
it. You can't do
unplayable.
anything about it.
You can't do anything about it. And another thing about some of those pitches, right? I was just looking at some of the series. Like some of the series were very good to watch. Like 2019 South Africa series, we played on literally flattest of flat decks. Everyone got hundreds. Everyone got 500, 600, 700 even in that series. It was lovely. But Ashwin, I have a funny feeling there itself his back started to show up, because in that series, in one match, I think he bowled like 60 overs. He got 10 wickets, yes, but he bowled 60 overs, and it was the age was starting to show. He was 33, 34 at that time. So clearly there was a conscious decision afterwards, after that England test at Madras, to say, oh, Chennai, I should say, where Joe Root hit a double hundred, to say, fine, we'll preserve our carries of our bowlers and we'll just shoot them out on rubbish pitches, right? So it was kind of that. I feel that in significant
I don't
inflation.
think we were trusting our batsmen either at that time.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Even though we
We
probably
weren't
should
trusting.
have, because on a flat deck, they would have outbatted these folks.
No, and I think Sharma would have been a very big asset at that time, but I don't think we were trusting our batsmen at all
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that
yeah.
stage.
We
Because they were
weren't.
starting to show that weakness was clear. It was coming through.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, in 2019, around the World Cup, I had pretty much, I had overstated the prediction. I had said I don't see Kohli making more than 5 centuries going forward on all formats, because I'd seen the problem in his batting. But I
Ah,
was right about it being not 5 in Test cricket.
yeah,
And the ones he's got in ODI cricket have been on the worst. Like that 23 World Cup is a joke. It's just an absolute joke, those pitches. So
yeah,
white ball pitches had become so bad. I never thought it would be this flat and this bad. But that's how it had become. But it was visible with Kohli. Pujara, yeah, he was never going to be as prolific after that. Although,
Yeah.
and Rahane was never prolific. Rahane was good and solid, but he was never massively prolific. Right? He doesn't have the same number of centuries, etc. And
Yeah.
Sharma was the ace in the pack at that time, actually.
Yeah. 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 His 161 against England at Chennai and that 140 against Australia at
No,
Nagpur,
that's
two
how
of
you
the
play spin,
greatest
bro.
innings.
That's how you play spin. That's how you play
Yeah.
spin.
And he
Fantastic.
sweeps
Just
so
fantastic.
regularly. He sweeps almost every 3, 4 balls. He's just ridiculous in the way he plays the sweep, the slot sweep. He
I
plays
think he's
everything.
one of the best crossback players that India's produced. He is very comfortable with the crossback.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see that. So that was one. So what is your prediction for the Pakistan South Africa match? Let's.
Pakistan ahead in the game, no doubt. So I tweeted just a few minutes ago, in fact, about a half an hour, 40 minutes before we started recording,
Yeah.
that Pakistan ahead in the game. But let's see. Let's do one good hour in that test match and then see where we are. One good hour with 30 odd runs on the board. So it's suddenly 81 for 2. Now your required is below 200. It starts getting dodgy. One maniac who decides to hit out and connects, because they've got Devol Brevis is in that lineup. Okay, and you would
Yeah.
expect Brevis has to be a walking wicket on this pitch now in this
Yeah.
circumstance, and he was bowled off the first ball in the first
First
test in the
ball.
first
Yeah.
innings
Yeah.
as well, right?
Yeah.
So he should be a walking wicket. But you never know with batsmen like that who just play those weird percentages, right? Like they play
Yeah.
the low
Sometimes it comes
percentage.
off. Sometimes it comes off.
If it comes off, if 45 minutes come off, right?
Yeah.
And he suddenly puts 50 up on the board in a partnership, 60 on the board in a partnership. That gap of runs collapses. I'm still putting Pakistan ahead because it's 220. It's a lot of runs. 226 is a
I
lot of
actually
runs.
hope South Africa win this match, and I'll
No,
tell
of
you
course,
why.
I will always want Pakistan to lose.
Yeah.
But 226, let me put it this way to you. I was shocked to see this state of the score because I didn't follow the match today and yesterday. I wasn't particularly well. Uh, I was just shocked to see that they did it again. Pakistan went and bungled the third innings again.
Yeah, 150 for 3 to
In test
167
match,
all. Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
in test matches, you can trust the fact that they cannot play a pressure innings. Right? And the point I was making was, if you look at their entire test history, yes, Younis Khan is the only one, 10,000 odd runs, and he succeeded in many circumstances, many conditions. But in one of those flatter sort of eras, okay, fine. Younis Khan is there. Javed is only 8,000 odd runs, but 8,000 odd in his era is a massive number. It was a
And at
tougher
an
era.
average of 53 or
But
something.
Javed
So
was
very
the
good.
ugliest batsman that God ever put on the planet, not just by face, but also by his batting. His batting style was hideous. It was
Alan
horrendous.
Border would have been ugly
Border
on
was the
20.
same, like just a stodgy, difficult guy to get out, but ugly batsman, right?
Yeah.
Smith, yeah, I don't find Smith a good look,
Smith
a
is
smooth batsman.
Smith is not ugly. He's just terrible to watch
Oh
in
my
the
God,
defense.
Smith is the most ungainly creature I've ever seen in a batting.
But
He's like a mixture between Javed and Chandrapal. There's so much weirdness to his batting. It's crazy, but it's so super effective that I can never there's no criticism to that, right?
yeah.
Uh, then other than that, they have Inzi. Inzi had the potential to be. Inzi is a proper underperformer
Yeah.
across the
Yeah.
career.
Yeah.
Inzi should have had at least 4,000-5,000 more test runs.
He
He
was
should have been
dropped
hitting.
many times. He was dropped many times. Consider this. Consider this. Younis Khan, their best batsman, was not part of the only tour when India beat Pakistan in a test match series. That was in 2004. Younis Khan is not part of the batting lineup, even though he made his debut in 98. The amount of political backstabbing which was going on is
Yeah,
just
but
insane.
he also had ups and downs in his career, and his latter half of the career where he and Misbah made a lot of runs together. So
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of his runs come very late in his career. Actually, he will have a stunning record of runs scored after 30, 32, 33 even.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm saying, even at that young age, when he was in his 20s, why drop him in one of the biggest tours you have? Like, it's just
No,
insane.
I see. Right now, I'm forgetting the context, but I do remember. Yeah, it was a surprise, but it was a surprise in the sense of you have to keep backing a good, young, talented batsman. He used to look a lot more loose, bro. I'm telling you that 10,000 runs that you're seeing now into the
Yeah,
2004 version of Younis Khan didn't look like that batsman. He looked a lot more loose. Younis Khan really steps into it in that 2006 India tour when they come to
India
India,
too.
2006. Right? He
Yeah,
really steps into. That's when he grows. That's when he becomes something big.
yeah. That's true. But still, I mean, considering Pakistan, I'm not surprised whatsoever, right? I'm not surprised whatsoever that they dropped him.
No, but you're right that these three spinners that they have in this test match are good enough for them to win it. But like
Yeah.
I said, you never know. This is firmly in the. I'd go even higher now. I said 65-35 earlier. I'd say 70-30 to Pakistan, maybe even higher.
Here's my prediction. Here's the thing. I would love South Africa to win, but I have a funny feeling it'll be a less than 20 run victory for Pakistan. A proper classic, like a down to the wire classic, like if they can manage it. Now, if South Africa wins, that's an even better classic, by the way. And you know what? There was this innings I was reviewing. There was this innings, there's no footage, there's only a lot of material on it. I wish there was footage, but the times were such. There is a 1950 innings by Neil Harvey on a spinning Durban pitch. Now, for why Durban
Oh
was
wow.
spinning,
Yeah,
okay.
because they were unprotected pitches, right? So it must have been completely moist, and then
No. Listen. I'll tell you why. South Africa, for the first 75 years of their cricketing history, was
yes,
one of the three greatest spinning nations of all time.
yes, they created the googly. Yeah,
They created the googly. Yeah. So
they
with
have been to an England tour with four leg spinners or something like that.
four leg spinners, yes, four leg spinners, and one guy who could bowl an early version of a carom ball. Like literally, that
Yes,
was the level of brilliance
yeah,
that these guys
yeah,
were displaying.
yeah.
So anyway, so these guys, this is a match that you definitely have to see to believe. Like this is one of those matches I was just thinking, okay, how did they even manage this? Because Australia have some of the most ridiculous innings ever played, right? So this is the innings I'm talking about. I'll just bring it up. And this is what they'll need. This is exactly what they need. This was a spinning pitch from the start, by the way. This was a spinning pitch from the start, and they somehow managed it. Just have a look at this. Look at the scorecard. So, South Africa, look at the scorecard. South Africa made 311 batting first. All right, 311. All right. The pitch starts to turn. 75 all out. 75. And Neil Harvey, as you can see, he's gone for two in this. The pitch is still spinning like a cobra, and they're all out for 99. South Africa, second innings. But nobody thinks it matters because look, this is first innings is all that matters, right? Just look at this effort by Neil Harvey. It is still considered one of the greatest test innings ever played. Probably the greatest fourth innings ever on a spinning track. Probably the greatest, if not the greatest, played on a spinning track. He did not give one chance. This is on a pitch which had 311, 75 all out, 99 all out, and then this.
Okay, but it must have got a little bit drier.
No. Proper spinning track. In fact, every written thing I can find about this innings is that the pitch was devilish in the fourth innings more than the third. This man played a miraculous effort.
Man, then one other thing I keep talking about whenever I meet friends about cricket, there's a massive problem with assessing greatness based on a recency bias.
Yeah.
These are we sure that the guys that we call such great batsmen today, just because they're wondrous stroke makers, are playing innings like these?
What again? Look, I'll give you one thing. The LBW DRS thing, advantage aside, Neil Harvey genuinely played one of the greatest innings ever played. There's not one photograph from this match, by the way. There's not even a single photograph. It was
That
obviously
is so sad.
like
that is so
there
sad.
might be one. There might be just be one. There isn't one. There isn't one. Cricinfo usually has at least one. There isn't even a single photograph from this match. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. There's no television coverage. 1950, you're not going to get any television coverage from this. Proper great innings. Like this is the innings. And you know what? Neil Harvey recently celebrated his 97th birthday. Congratulations to him. I want to commend him. This is still one of the top 5 test innings ever played, in my opinion. Like this is a proper innings. Imagine this. 99 and 75 were played on this pitch. 95 and 99 all out on a spinning deck.
Yeah, but so was 311.
And this wasn't like your... That's first day.
Yeah, I get that. Maybe the pitch dries up. See, there's a little bit of research that has to happen. I'm quite sure this was very sticky. This pitch got very sticky in somewhere in between. Some rain has happened, something has happened. The pitch got very sticky. This kind of shit used to go down all the time in that era, which is that famous test match in which Bradman batted. They sent the bowlers up first because the pitch was still wet.
Yeah, the
So the
Bradman
bowlers
270.
did what they the bowlers did what they could in the shitty conditions of that in the wet conditions, and then when the pitch got better, that's when the batsman came out and he made a double or 100 to win out of nowhere.
Yeah. I was just bringing
So
that up.
this stuff used to be, it's not uncommon. You used to declare to conditions. In fact, when ping ball cricket, nighttime ping ball cricket came about, right? Those crazy decisions that some captains took of declaring just so that they could bowl for 45 minutes under the lights against their team. That stuff used to hark back to matches like these.
Yeah.
Look, it's only 3 down, bro. It's only 3 down. So others must have stuck around. But yeah, his stroke making must have been crazy because he's so far ahead of the other batsmen. It's unreal.
By the way,
this
wasn't a smash bang grab innings either. Listen, this wasn't a smash bang grab.
If you read about Neil Harvey, when he first arrived in the Australian team, he was the next Bradman. He was quite clearly the best that they had seen after Bradman.
Yeah.
That's how they used to perceive him.
Yeah. Like, it's this innings, told me a lot I needed to know about. Yeah, one is recency bias because look, generally when cricket commentators make a list, right? Look, Anant Narayan is a great writer. I'll recommend you to him. I think you might have read a few articles of his on ESPN Cricket.
Of course.
You have, right? So if you have, he doesn't have a recency bias because he really has read his stuff and he's old. That's another reason why. He's a great statistician. But if you really think about it, ask any modern cricket fan of the top 5 test innings. I'll tell you which they'll name. They'll name the 281 of VVS. They will which is genuinely great. Don't get me wrong. It is in the top 5.
It is. Please be clear about this. That is a great innings for the circumstances it was played in. Yeah. The pitch wasn't difficult.
I agree with that.
That day when they batted out the whole day, they didn't bat out the whole day in the worst conditions possible. Yes, they did it against a very good set of bowlers. And even more than McGrath, Gillespie on that tour he was so tough to play.
Yeah.
When Gillespie got it right, he was as good a bowler as you've seen, bro. I promise you this. Yeah. Gillespie was as good as they got.
Yeah. I can tell you that. But let me just name you. 281 by VVS. All right, they'll definitely name the 153 or the 213 by Brian Lara. One of the two, either one works actually. Then they'll name the 153 works better actually. They'll name the Kusal Perera 153, which in my opinion is one of the greatest innings of all time. Yeah, they'll name the Ben Stokes 160, which is also a classic. Okay, and the 5th one they will name is probably going to be something like recency bias. Maybe if you're an old commentator, you'll probably say a Gooch 154 at Headingley, one of the greatest innings ever played, that one, 91. Or if you're slightly newer, you might say it's a Steve Smith 144 in 2019 on the first innings. That's also a possibility, right?
The Steve Smith century in Nagpur. Fuck, what an innings.
Yeah, that innings. One of those, right? So these are the possibilities that you are going to get. You'll never hear nobody, by the way, will mention Neil Harvey. Not even Chappell, by the way, will mention Neil Harvey. And this innings.
This is something I'm telling you this. When we used to watch old-time commentary, Chappell and all these guys, the Australian commentators, they used to mythologize these innings a lot more. This has disappeared out of the game now. I think a little bit of that is to create modern star power. And that is why you have to keep talking about these guys as if they are the greatest gladiators that the world has ever seen. And so there is a little bit of that goes on. But there used to be enough of talking about these kinds of pitches at various times and these kinds of innings at various times, and a lot of contextualization in the commentary. You've got
Yeah.
to also understand that, look, why did we love hearing a guy like Richie Beno commentate?
Yeah,
Because Beno
exactly.
had
Exactly.
he'd seen Bradman. He'd
Yeah.
started his career just when Bradman retired, right?
Yeah.
And he goes all the way up to 2009, 2010, 60 years of cricket, right?
Yeah.
And so when Beno turns around and says at the end of everything, he says, look, from what I have seen, Bradman's the best, Tendulkar's the next, and then everybody else is just a little bit below Tendulkar. It carries a
Yeah.
kind of certain kind of weight to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but what I'm saying is that we used to get a lot of these stories, from reading about them. We used to read a fair amount about them because even when you're writing in the past, in the 90s, the innings of the 70s and 60s are not as far behind. Now they're really far behind. Now the 70s are 50 years old, right? And
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
used to be this awesome page on Cricinfo. It's still there. It's not as popular anymore. But it used to be a page that I read virtually every day that I could get on the website, which was on this day. So it
On
would
this
have,
day, it's still there.
yeah,
It's
on this
still there.
day is the best thing to read on Cricinfo on a daily basis. You want to increase your knowledge about cricket, find out
Yeah.
about quirky stuff about cricket, read on this day every single day.
You know how I actually got to know about the Neil Harvey Classic? Like, I was genuinely amazed as to how I came across it. I was reading his Wikipedia page, and that's the greatest innings described there. Like even on a Wikipedia page, they cannot
No, I'm
contain
happy
their.
you got to know this. I know of it because, like I said, I've heard a lot about it growing up watching commentary. Uh, and it used to be described in mythical terms, man. Mythical terms. But they were just not as, those players were just not as popular, right? Like, so it wouldn't be spoken of in
And the
exactly that
other
sort of.
major problem, no coverage besides the written word whatsoever. No coverage whatsoever. No TV, no footage, nothing.
Yeah, yeah. No TV, no
Like,
footage, no nothing.
yeah, and the
Uh,
other thing, like there's another great innings I had wanted to watch of a South African, right? In South Africa against Australia. There's the Graham Pollack 274. I've never found footage of that either.
Yeah, there's no footage of that. Sadly, there is also no footage of the Kapil Dev 175. That must have been something else as well, man.
The
Because that
175, we have no footage. We don't have footage of any of the three Barry Richards hundreds he ever hit in his career. Like all of
bro,
them were
that 175 is against a Zimbabwe lineup. That was a proper bowling lineup, a very good
yeah,
bowling lineup.
yeah,
And in conditions where the ball, this is a place like Tunbridge Wells, man. You don't get flat wickets in Tunbridge Wells. You just get green tops. And the ball does whatever it has to do. And he sort of plays an innings in two parts. And his idea of being patient in an innings is initially going just under a run of ball and then just destroying the life out of the bowling lineup.
yeah,
Must have been
yeah,
something. You get perspective thinking. If you'd seen all of those innings, suddenly these guys don't look like, what. So sometimes a lot of us got it called boomers, but us boomers have seen some crazy innings in the early 90s and late 80s where conditions were what they were. Yeah. I mean, the Tendulkar 138, the only thing stopping it from being right up there with anything and everything is the fact that the match didn't get closed out. I
yeah,
mean, if
yeah,
we were 4 for 2 when he came out to bat, we were 4 for 2 after he got out. Okay,
yeah,
everything in between is him.
yeah, yeah,
And so,
yeah.
right, so we lose by 15, 16. And so, this is the karmic irony that Lara got to his 153 not out. If Tendulkar gets to 153 not out, he wins the match here.
He wins the
Right?
match.
So,
Same year, by the way, same
same here,
year.
bro, same here. And I will argue this to my last day. That Pakistani lineup in those conditions,
Yeah.
much more difficult than the Aussie lineup in those conditions.
Yes, yes,
Wasim,
yes.
Waqar, Saklan, Mushtaq was a terror in that era. Yeah? He was an absolute
Yeah,
terror.
yeah. That ball to Rahul Dravid, I must have watched it like 10 times. I
So you
cannot
watch the
believe
whole
what
over.
is done with.
If you can find it, please watch day 4, the first session and a half, and just focus on the qualitative difference between the Tendulkar defensive technique and everybody else's defensive. If your mind doesn't get blown by that, right? I'll change my name. Watching that, I watched it live, going like, dude, the gap between this guy and everyone else. Those are the kind of innings that everybody used to watch and say, like, this is insane. This is mastery of the game. This is just
Yeah,
total mastery of what the sport is supposed to be.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was,
No, no,
so I'm
but
saying,
I'll tell you.
we've seen a lot of those. So now when suddenly There's an innings in which somebody hit 12 sixes. I'm like, firstly, if a fucking innings has 12 sixes in it, there's something wrong with the pitch, bro. Right? The only exception I will take is that. You remember that Aiden Markram innings against us in South Africa in a second
Yeah,
test?
yeah, yeah. Outstanding
Oh,
innings.
mother of God, what an innings that was. That is a bona
On a,
fide
on
rubbish
a
pitch.
disgrace of a pitch. On an absolute
Rubbish
disgrace.
pitch. Absolutely rubbish pitch. Right?
Yeah.
And a proper Indian seam lineup. There's no
Yeah.
kidding around with that seam lineup.
Two of those
And
sixes
he
went out of the
just,
stadium. Two of
dude,
those
he just
sixes
kept
went
talking
out.
them. He kept talking them every few overs. He'd just go tonk, gone.
Nobody else on that pitch could even survive. Forget about it. Like, it's insane.
No. In the first innings, Virat played a beautiful one of his. He has a few of these short innings.
Gems, we have
In tough
already
conditions
talked
that
about
are
them.
gorgeous innings, man. And that first innings, 50 odd that he made, was beautiful innings, a top class innings. In fact, it was him and Rahul at the crease when Rahul threw his wicket away per usual, chasing a wide and high one and
Yeah.
gloving it to the keeper. And
Yeah.
after that, the whole fucking procession started. Like the
Yeah.
whole procession. There was 6-0 after that.
And then Ravi Shastri's greatest comment of all time, that you went for a toilet break. Indian team have already gotten all out before you went all out. Something like that. It was just insane. So that
Anyways,
was
just
one.
let's
That is one.
so no, I mean we're gonna do this one day. So, next time when there's some space between tours, right? I mean, the Australia series is coming up.
Yeah.
We'll do one on the greatest innings and later on we'll do greatest bowling performance, but greatest innings that people generally don't talk about.
We look at Anant Narayana's list for that. His list is a gem of a list.
Baba, you research from wherever you want. I may do it from memory. You may do from Anand Ryan's list. Otherwise, read Gideon Hay, read Neville Carter's. We used to read all of this stuff because it used to be in hard book form for us, right? So this is all the cricket knowledge you used to be able to get. You had to read. And bro, I'm telling you, go back and listen to the commentary, particularly in Australia and England in the 90s and early 2000s. Those fuckers were storytellers. A boycott used to be a storyteller. To tell you all kinds of stories about how batting is done.
Tyson was a brilliant commentator. Frank Tyson was a brilliant commentator.
Each one of them, man, they were great storytellers. Ian Chappell is a magician of a storyteller.
Yeah.
People get swayed by what was his name? Yeah, the South African all-rounder. Tony Greig. The Tony Greig, because Tony Greig's voice fluctuation was like that, right? But if you listen to the commentary of Ian Chappell, Bill Lawry, and Richie Beno, you get so much knowledge, so many stories, amazing stuff.
For me, Bishop comes close. Bishop really comes close.
Ian Bishop is a very serious man. You know, he's what I call the anti-Manjrekar.
Yeah, agreed.
But I cannot tolerate Manjrekar, bro. Cannot tolerate. I cannot. His voice comes on, and I'm like, this is it. I can't do it. I cannot do
Fellow Cancerian, by the way. Sadly. Let's talk about this classic. Another classic case of Indian women's team choking it so badly. It's just insane as to how they managed to do it.
we say that, but let's... Okay, so 303 for 5 in 44 overs. Jemmy in the crease. Should be looking at 350. I get that. But you can't complain about 330, bro. You cannot complain about 330 in a World Cup match. Dude, that Alyssa Healy innings is... You got to tip your hat at times. 142 and nothing. Not
How
out in
does
the
she
end.
always do this on a big stage? Like, she does
She
a 170.
she is one of the great crunch players there. She will always get it done when it's needed.
And Alyssa Perry seems to be on crutches at the moment, but she'll still come out and kill people with this innings. Right? It's just insane. It's
Alyssa
just completely
Perry
insane.
has a women's World Cup goal in football. Alyssa Perry is
I've seen
the
that.
ultimate athlete.
Yeah.
She's the ultimate athlete.
For me, Alyssa Perry gets into the Hall of Fame regardless of whether she was a woman or a man. That's how good she is. That's how good she is.
She's the best ever. She's the best ever female player. I don't think there's a doubt as to that.
Yeah. But seriously, how do we give this away? Like, see, okay, look, it's just insane.
Bro, forget this. I'm not so shocked by this. When we made 330, I was like, okay, we made 330. It's going to be an easy enough pitch to bat on. And the last match these two played, they were going to do the female version of the 434 game. Okay.
Yeah. So 434.
So this was on. I always felt that we needed to go. I'm actually glad we got 7 in the end, because for a long time they were just coasting. They were
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
coasting towards them.
yeah. 3 for
Now the problem
265.
is this: your next 3 matches in this World Cup for qualifying now are
Yeah,
England, New Zealand, and Bangladesh. And I promise you, Bangladesh are excellent. They are
yeah.
excellent.
They are. They are there.
They're going to be
They are.
a tough week. You could end up losing all 3 games and get knocked out of your home World Cup.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Would not be
this is
surprised.
the first match in which your top order has actually performed properly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And long may this continue. There's a balance problem. They need to drop a batter and get a bowler in. This is not working. It's not
And
working. It's not
please,
gonna... Bro,
and
your
Harman
next match,
and
I
Harmanpreet
forget.
and Harmanpreet looks like she's done. Really, like her batting is just pitiful, pitiful. It's really pitiful. Like the way she gets out these days is just sad. Like I
Look,
see,
you will be past her after this. Okay, you will be
yeah,
past her after this. There's
yeah.
no
I don't see,
question about that.
yeah,
But the thing is, this tournament now,
yeah,
you played reasonable cricket. I'm not saying you haven't. The South Africa loss was a shocker.
yeah.
You have
Complete
that match
shocker.
in your pocket, okay? But you'd
Yeah,
also lost that match early on with your top order. It says Richa Ghosh played a superb innings, and then your
yeah,
bowlers couldn't handle Nadine de Klerk.
yeah.
But now you've
Who
got
did
a
it
real
again, by the way?
runner.
Who did it again against Bangladeshi spinners, by the way?
Yes,
She
yes.
did it again.
But you've
She
got a
did.
serious. You might need to win 2 out of these 3 to qualify,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because you're on form. Can you check the score on the Sri Lanka New Zealand
New
game
Zealand
today?
game washed out, washed out, washed out.
1 point each.
Yep.
Brother, then I think that saved us. That saves us, because that means New Zealand will be stuck on 3 points. So India New Zealand is a
Yep.
virtual knockout now.
Yeah. India, England also is a virtual knockout in a sense, if you think
Why?
about it.
Why?
Because I
England are
don't see
through.
England beating South Africa or no, they beat South Africa. I don't see them beating Australia.
Who do you not see beating Australia?
I
I
don't
don't see
see
anybody beating Australia.
I don't see England beating Australia.
I don't see anybody beating Australia. That's not the point.
Yeah, that's
For
true.
our
That's absolutely
qualification, for our qualification, because of this rained out game, if you beat New Zealand, I think you might just sneak through with even 1 win out of 3.
yeah, yeah,
But it should not have come to pass like this. You had to win one of the big ones somewhere, and South Africa was a terrible loss.
yeah. Absolutely
You've got
awful.
problems now. You've got serious problems now.
No,
You
I
put
mean,
up 2
just look at
reasonable
this. They
performances
were,
against South Africa and against Australia, but you've
yeah,
only beaten Pakistan and Sri Lanka.
they were 6 for 142. Just to give you an idea, they were 6 for 142. They should have closed out the match right then and there. They did not. Just shocking.
Bro, but you've got to also give, like, if somebody is gonna hit an 84 or 54 and play as well as she did, okay. Like, there's sometimes you just gotta bow to the other guy.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Like
It's a
this,
great
this
inning, a
was a
genuinely
Richard
great
Ghosh
inning.
classic. But
One
yeah,
of the things that I'm disappointed by in women's cricket, since Jhulan Goswami is gone, a couple of other, like, there is no. I want to see more genuine quick bowlers.
it's very
It's all
difficult.
very dibbly dobbly right now.
It's very difficult for them to do it. Physically, it is a huge demand on them. Like it
No,
really.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm saying I've seen other women do it. Right, the era
But
doesn't seem to have its fast bowler.
I'm
Other than
trying to say that
other
it's
than what I'm forgetting her name, the South African girl, the South
Shabnam
African
Ismail.
girl.
Shabnam
Yeah,
Ismail.
yeah, yeah. Shabnam Ismail, because she's genuinely quick. You can see it on screen. Bowling goes through differently. At least Perry at times gets it to go, so you can see hers also goes there. But the rest of them feel very sort of dibbly dobbly.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I
is
agree.
something I hope to see more change in women's cricket over time. But that hasn't happened. And
Yeah,
it says to me that this is not. It's fast bowling is not just about gym work and muscles and nutrition and recovery and all of that. A lot of it is genetic. A lot of it is fast muscle fiber, the twitch.
yeah.
That don't seem to happen here.
In a sense, there was that old saying. I think it was, unfortunately, it was Shoaib Akhtar, the idiot man, the greatest idiot, one of the greatest idiots of Pakistani cricket ever. He said, "Pace is pace, yaar." He said this after, I think, one of his greatest balls or spells ever. He destroyed Adam Gilchrist's leg stump with a reverse swinging
Oh
Yorker.
man, there's a spell he bowled to those Aussies in Colombo.
Colombo, 2002. Yeah, yeah. Colombo, 2002. Yeah, yeah. Watch the. By the way,
Oh,
that match is available on
go check
YouTube. Go
that
and watch
spell
it.
out,
I'll link it in
boss.
the
He
description.
had them hopping. He had them hopping, man. Pakistan
Proper
didn't have the
reverse swing.
batting to compete with Australia, so they still lost the test. But he destroyed that Aussie batting lineup and their ego completely.
Yeah, yeah. Like the ball to Mark Waugh is like it's almost like an executioner's swing. It's like
Yeah,
a scythe. It's literally comes down and finishes his
yeah.
leg
Yeah.
stump.
So
And
check out his Yorker to knock out Stephen Fleming's off stump in the '99 World Cup semi-final. It's you see
I've
the
seen it.
hand, and then you just see the stump go over,
Yeah,
and
that's
you
it.
just see it hit bam the base of the stump, and that's it. That's all you see. That's how fast it goes. Amazing delivery.
Yeah. And then the two Yorkers, unfortunately, that he bowled
Oh
to
my word,
Tendulkar
they
and
are. You
Dravid.
gotta give it to him. They are perfect. Look, you Dravid found it hard enough after having played 40 odd deliveries to play that. Tendulkar had no chance. You cannot play that first up. There is no way you can play that first up.
At Eden Gardens, imagine that. At Eden Gardens, he produces those from I don't know where, but he produces them. And then there's this another delivery to Matthew Hayden in Perth. Like Matthew Hayden doesn't even believe that he's been bowled, by the way. It's not a Yorker. It's not a Yorker. It's a 155 km per hour heat seeking missile that he chooses to leave. The ball seams back so fast, he has not seen the ball at all. The ball has already taken off stump and gone.
Yeah, yeah. Pace is pace, man. Like you said, pace is pace.
Pace is pace, yeah, in true sense. So
Bro,
that was
I
about
remember I remember Brett Lee's debut series, the '99 Australia tour.
yeah.
Watching Brett Lee bowl to MSK Prasad, fuck, it's like watching a man shoot fish in a barrel, dude. Like it was ridiculous. This is so mismatched. I remember a full toss that Lee bowled to him. Prasad, I think his bat was it was still in the backswing. Okay, when the stump went down, and
Yeah.
he went through with the shot. He went through with the shot as if I'm playing this. It's like, bro, it's too fast for you. It's just too fast for you. I remember there was another very accomplished otherwise in Ranji, Karnataka opener a guy with the name of Sujit Somasundar. Had a lot of runs in his career. Had a lot of runs in
Yeah.
that particular season. Came into international cricket, had to play Donald first up. It's like, you can't
God,
do it, bro. You
you
can't do
can't.
it. I can tell you right now, you cannot play Donald and Pollock. Not because they're moving the ball too much. It's just too fast for you. It's too fast.
I'll give you two deliveries. One is a Donald special and another is a Brett Lee special. The first is I'll talk about the Donald one. So Donald purposefully bowls two literally full toss half volleys to Tendulkar, 96. He gets driven for four on both occasions, then
Oh,
produces the greatest in swinging Yorker you can
oh.
ever imagine to knock out
It
his
wasn't
middle
even a
seam.
Yorker. It wasn't even a Yorker. You're talking about the one in Calcutta, or are you talking about the
No,
one in?
South Africa one. The
Okay,
South Africa.
because he did Tendulkar's off stump the same way, the same
Yeah.
sequence of deliveries in those back-to-back series. Once in Calcutta, and once I think it wasn't Durban.
Durban, I think, yeah, Durban, most
Probably
likely Durban.
that Durban pitch was unplayable. By the way, for Indians, the worst bowling performance by India ever has been having South Africa 80 for 2 in the first inning in the first session of that test. That they should have been like 60 for 5. That was that fast a
Yeah,
pitch. It's crazy.
yeah,
We
yeah,
were bowled out for 65 and 100. It was too fast. It
yeah,
was just too quick.
yeah,
There's too much happening on that pitch.
yeah, yeah,
But the sequence, you gotta check out the sequence of deliveries he bowls to Tendulkar in Calcutta. Same dismissal, that same off stump going over. Bro, I watched that live. I bowed. I bowed. I was like, this is too good. This is just too good.
And the
You could
crazy part
see.
was Donald just didn't produce those on a regular basis. Like he was very good when he could be. Like he ran really hot and cold at various times in his
I don't
career.
think.
But
No. Donald is. See, firstly, you've got to give Allan Donald a break here. He's 24 when they come back from uh,
yeah, yeah,
apartheid break.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
24, 25. So a lot of
yeah,
very good years, peak years are already lost,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
In those years, he was the gold standard in county cricket. Nobody could play him. He used to be called White Lightning. Nobody could even
yeah,
see his bowling. Like, half of those guys were like, "Dikh nahi degi bhaiya." He was that good, right? So his career also ends pretty, but he was 330 wickets pretty quickly, 10 years.
yeah.
Okay,
And
330
300,
wickets.
almost 300 ODI wickets also in a
Yeah,
very
and
competitive.
a proper warrior, dude. Look, again, if you want to fall in love with ODI cricket, go buy the 1999 World Cup semi-final, full match. Just
It's on YouTube. You don't even need to. You don't even need
yeah,
it to
psych
buy it.
yourself
It's on
out
YouTube.
into not knowing the outcomes and the stories, and just watch it ball for ball,
Yeah,
right?
it's on
And the
YouTube.
96 World Cup semi-final, West Indies,
Which one?
Australia,
Ah,
West Indies,
that one.
Australia.
Yeah, yeah, that one. That one.
Brilliant game of cricket, absolutely brilliant games of cricket. These two.
Yeah, the West Indies one I don't like so much because it was a genuine joke. The South Africa Australia one was
Oh,
peak
Chanderpaul
cricket,
and
peak
Lara
fun.
had the match in the bag. It was done. Then Richardson
It
comes
was
out
a
with all
joke.
the
It was a
bag.
joke. Let's be very clear. It was a joke. Come on.
Oh, forget the choke. Do you remember the ball that Steve Waugh bowled to Lara?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Brilliant, brilliant.
this guy, suppose like Dibbly Dobbly, suppose like the guy is able to come from right arm round, pitch off and hit off, topple
Yeah,
off on that pitch, right? But
yeah.
the
Cummins
best part of
delivery.
that match, the best part of that match is the first 12 overs of the West Indies bowling in the first innings because it was a proper Mohali wicket, like Mohali used to be, like a proper heat-seeking.
Yeah,
Like this is a fast pitch. Oh, they had Australia hopping all over the place, all over the
yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And some argue, later analysts have argued that that was the match that made Australia win the World Cups 3 times in a row afterwards. Not the 96 one, they lost that, but that was the
They
match
would have
that
won the
made the team.
96 final as well. But India, in Asia, we have to do a day and night match. So we did day and night match in Lahore on the ball. Second innings, they couldn't even control the ball. Warne
Yeah,
couldn't even control the ball because of the dew.
yeah, that is there.
All right,
Okay.
bro. So I'm
It was
off.
brilliant.
Take
It
care.
was brilliant talking to Nikhil as ever. Thank you so much for watching. Please bring more of your friends. Please bring more of your family to watch us. If you like it, please leave a comment, give suggestions. We are thinking of bringing on more guests. We are thinking of getting them again. That is there as well in the plan. So thank you so much for watching, and we shall see you all in the next video. Also, thank you so much to our editor. Our editor is
Oh,
his channel is
magnificent.
Charvaka Gaming. He's done a great job. So please go subscribe to his channel as well and give him a watch as well. Great, great work all around. Thank you so much.
Take care. See you soon.